And we're live! Hadassah, go ahead and read this for us. Everybody, shh.
Like it's a potato that
Jason.
flies.
What?
Call that a thrown potato. Okay, be
It's a
quiet.
child, but-
Okay,
So don't
Bertel
throw
has
it.
a new job at a copy center, helping people use the photocopy machines. Bernal thinks he knows everything about making photocopies, and so he doesn't complete his assignment to read the training manual. Mr. and Mrs. Donahue are making a scrapbook for Mr. Donahue's grandfather's 75th birthday party, and they want to enlarge a sketch of their grandfather, which was drawn when he was in World War II. They have purchased some very expensive scrapbook paper, and they would like this image to be centered on the page. Because they are unfamiliar with the process of enlarging an image, they have come to Bernal for help. We would like to make a copy of this image that's twice as big and centered in the middle of this very expensive scrapbook paper, Mrs. Donahue says. Can you help us with that? Certainly, says Bernal, glad to be of service. Bernal taped the original image in the middle of a white piece of paper, placed it on the glass of a photocopy machine, inserted the expensive scrapbook paper into the paper tray, and set the enlargement feature at 200%. In a moment, this image was produced. You ruined our expensive paper, cried Mrs. Donahue. Much of this image is off the paper instead of being centered, and this image is more than twice as big, Mr. Donahue complained. 1/4 of Grandpa's picture is taking up as much space as the original. Awful.
Why would
Look
you
at him.
use expensive paper?
Bro, what? Mrs.
That's
Donahue was
right.
my fifth grade teacher.
Yeah, them's peoples is idiots. You don't try a first draft on your expensive paper.
Burnell's got some things to learn.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
Bernal's fault, not their fault.
It is
So-
their fault. They use the expensive paper.
No.
Number one. Hey, let's go ahead and focus on the questions at hand. The diagram below, both the original image, which Bernal taped in the middle of the sheet of paper, and the copy have been reproduced in the same figure. Aquí. Okay? Explain how the photocopy machine produced the partial copy.
So he said it at 200%, right? And that just doubled the dimensions, which is not a doubling of the.
Oh, so he doubled which dimensions?
Well, the printer just doubled the picture dimensions.
Like the side?
Yeah,
So it just took this and then multiplied it by 2?
yeah. And can I also say, if you pay for that, like, drawing, like, I ain't too much familiar with art. I'm in an art class, but that don't look like the best drawing I ever
That's a
did.
picture of their grandfather.
I mean, it's pretty.
He
It's
looks like
fine.
he has to sneeze and
It's-
can't.
It's fine.
Like he's just stuck in that halfway point. It's like, just for eternity.
It's actually a work of art called God Bless You. So, immortalized en route to a sneeze.
Wait,
Okay.
Down.
Sit down, businessman.
So, you could say that it multiplied each dimension by 200%, right? And then, why did it end up in the bottom right corner?
Do I look like I know how photocopies work?
Well, that's what we're discovering.
I don't know.
What's a photocopier look like again?
A photocopier is basically just another
Is that the one where
copier,
it's
but
like the
with like,
windows that can go
well,
up?
sometimes, other times you just like stick it in.
So, where did it look like it was actually enlarging this from? If we only caught like this much of his face right here.
Well, it was like enlarged from
Oh, so was it enlarged?
only this like center. It wasn't enlarged equally on each sides.
No, did the picture start out in that little like dotted point? Like I don't know if we call it the origin because I don't know what quadrant we're in. But
No, the picture started right here.
it started in. The
He
middle.
put it in the very middle.
And it ended up there.
And when it enlarged over to here. Yes.
I would like to talk about how he has 3 chins.
He only got 3 chins.
Shh. What's the answer to this? Why did it only cover where is it actually enlarging? What's it enlarging?
Is it enlarging the actual like paper instead of the image?
No, it's just enlarging
Like,
the
space in
image.
paper.
It's
Oh, yeah, what blank space in the paper though? Like, is it enlarging this blank space over here? This blank space down here? this
Yeah,
blank
it's like-
space
it's
or this blank
enlarging the,
space.
like upper left corner.
Okay, so it's almost as if we were to extend this, it's looking at this upper left and it's saying, okay, let's do this here. It's enlarging just this portion right here and making this, it's taking every x dimension times 2 and every y dimension times 2, right? So that this little quadrant right here actually ends up becoming the entire piece of paper. Okay? So what they're actually enlarging is they are enlarging from this point right here at the origin with this kind of top left quarter of the paper.
How can we say that?
I would say it's enlarging the top
Is
left
it because,
corner
like, both
quarter.
copies read left to right,
They read left to right and top to bottom.
so that's why it goes from that point.
Mm-hmm.
So smart.
Wait, are they reading or are they just scanning?
They're scanning. Not well. What's the difference between reading and scanning?
I don't know. Reading requires comprehension. Scanning doesn't.
They're just scanning then.
At least I think so. I honestly don't know. That's just what I think.
That seems legit. Okay, what on earth is a rubber band stretcher? Is that like what you put people on to take them off of like a soccer field when they've gotten hurt,
It sounds like
but it's made out of rubber bands instead of like metal?
trampoline.
It's like a stretcher,
Sure.
right?
It kind of reminded me of. Okay, I don't remember how to do it, but there was this thing you could do. It was really popular in the elementary school, right? Where you'd like take this string and you'd make a combination with your hands and you tell your friend, hey, stick your finger in this hole. And you go, and it'd trap them. It's kind of what it's reminding me of.
Okay. That's not at all what we'll be
real?
doing, but that sounds fun. Maybe you could do that at lunch with a friend.
Go back.
Isn't that child's cradle?
Okay, a rubber band stretcher is something entirely different.
Is it an actual tool?
It's an actual rubber band.
Wait, actually?
It's just a rubber band.
I did not know.
Man,
Is
math
it a
just
rubber
keeps
band
getting
that's
weirder
just
and weirder,
stretched
doesn't
the-
it? Like
Oh my
who
gosh,
comes
it's so
up with these
cool. It's
ideas?
real.
So, what you do
Rubber bands used for math.
is you are going to actually use a rubber band stretcher to finish the enlarged sketch. So, we have decided that this point at the top left is our center of dilation. That's what we could call that. Okay? Using a rubber band stretcher, okay? You see there are a couple of knots. I have a couple of knots in this one because I have 3 rubber bands because I needed it to be larger actually. Do you have a question?
I was gonna say you can also. I feel like I know how you can put it in the middle and just drop with it. That's what I've seen.
Okay, yeah. So
How artists use it.
I'm gonna, to expand an image, right? So I'm gonna put this right up here, and then I'm going to place the knot where it hits the pre-image when my pencil is at the post-image location. Okay, so what I've actually done is I've done this before, and you can see how the knot is between my 2 fingers right now. See where it's at the crest of his hairline? My finger down here is now at the crest of his hairline as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch that knot, and I'm going to try to make that knot trace his hairline, come down here, and then I could come over here and go to around his ear. Okay, and then I could trace his head. Right? So this is what you're going to do with these rubber band stretchers. But you're going, with this finger, you're going to, or this finger is representing your pencil, sorry.
That's how I feel. It's just gonna fly off.
Okay, so then you can come down here to his chin and you can be like, okay, here's his chinny chin chin. And I'm going to, basically it's a way of sketching. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
And we're live again. All right, let's go ahead and read question number 3. We have mixed results on how good they look. The artists look really good, and the non-artists look really not.
I'm in
Great.
Not like that.
Yeah, his ear, Samantha's ear looks like an elf. Tayson, what does yours look like? Oh, Tayson's is all right. Mia, how's yours, Farron? Mia has a line. You're gonna have to look more at that, okay? Okay.
More at that.
Picasso.
So, where
Like a Picasso.
should Burnell have placed the image if he actually wanted it to be centered in the paper?
On the
Like,
upper left corner?
Like up here?
You should have placed the point of
yeah, he
dilation
should
in
place
the
it
middle.
up there, cause then it should be like,
Because did it say he originally
at
placed it in
least
the
like
middle and
on
then? Did he say he placed it in the middle and then scaled it up?
Okay, so that would probably
Yes.
If you can change the point of dilation, just change the point of dilation to the middle.
Oh, if you could change the point of dilation, you can't though.
So he would have had to have moved it up to the left-hand corner.
So all the way up to the left-hand corner like this?
yeah,
Yeah.
like where,
I feel like
If he expanded that though, wouldn't that have just come like this and it would have just covered this?
In order
Corner
to get
right
it in-
here?
No, in order
He
to
wants
get
it
in-
centered though.
Okay, in order to get it in the
And
middle
just
of the
put it
page,
down a
you
little
need
bit.
it to be in the middle of that one smaller page.
Ah, you need it to be in the middle of this quadrant, right? That's what you're trying to say?
Sam, you have another chance, right?
That's what I said, move it down. a
There's
little
another
bit.
chance.
Oh, gotcha. So it should have been in the middle of the top left quarter.
The front page.
So you can go ahead and write that down.
Middle of top left corner.
Or top left quadrant, maybe.
Top left quadrant.
That's number 3?
Yeah.
Corner. Oh, I've also been watching Gravity Falls.
So Mr. Donahue now thinks that it's 4 times bigger than the original. What do you think?
Didn't we just say it was times 2?
No, so it's supposed to be times 2, but the dude trusted the printer, and the printer just doubled the dimensions, and doubling the dimensions
Oh.
is no double area.
So the dimensions were doubled, but that means that the area was not doubled. Was the area quadrupled? Like this guy's complaining?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was. So the area was quadrupled, but the dimensions were doubled. That's what you can say for number 4. So if you want to think about it like this, if this is the original, and let's say it's just x by x, I know it's not a square, but let's just pretend. Well, what is the area? What's x times x?
Oh, x squared.
Yeah. And now, if we doubled it, so it was 2x and 2x, again, I know this is not a square, but let's just pretend. What would the area of that be?
4x squared.
4x squared. So you can see that by just doubling the dimensions, we have quadrupled the area.
So it's, for number 4, the answer is
I definitely.
The dimensions were doubled, but the area was quadrupled.
I have another story for you when we have time.
Okay, not yet. You guys are doing great on this lesson, though.
my brain's trying to figure out if I spelled quadrupled right.
Quad and then rupled. You know,
You
rupled.
wanna know what you do? You do a dot.
That doesn't look right. Are
and
you
then you do-
LED?
That's how you do it. You do a dot and then 4.
That's how you spell rupled.
I did it.
Well, it could be.
What's the opposite of enlarged? Like when you make something smaller, like what's
Shrink. Dislodge.
This large.
So, transforming a figure by
it's
shrinking.
The word shrinked isn't a word. Shrunk?
Shrunk. Yep.
Yeah. Welcome to
Man,
English.
I want to write so bad right now, but also my English is just not working out. when I
Nice.
speak.
So, transforming a figure by shrinking or enlarging, there are your antonyms there, in this way is called a dilation.
The only reason I
Shrink
think
shrunk.
is, the only thing I think of is like when you go to the eye
It's like-
doctor.
Oh, yeah, dilate your eyes. That's when they enlarge it, right?
People's eyes that one day being
Is it
so.
called-
Actually, yeah, that's a great connection because the dilation of our eyes is either the enlarging or shrinking of our pupil.
I can. I can show you really dilated eyes. You want to see?
No, I
eyes?
don't want to see that. Thank you, though. Based on your thinking about how the photocopy was produced, list all the things you need to pay attention to when dilating an image.
The area versus
The dimensions.
dimensions.
Oh yeah, so the area, dimension, what
Quadrants.
is there a thing we could call that maybe?
What?
Like how big or small something is?
Why not? Factor of dilation?
Factor of dilation. That's a way you could say it. There's another word in particular that I'm thinking of.
Size?
I don't know.
It's kind of like size.
Oh.
What?
It's like size.
Big and small.
Like growth factor or something? I don't know.
Growth factor.
Oh, wait.
What do they call it when they are like on a key of a map or something? They say like, oh, hey, this much is actually a mile.
Oh,
Scale factor.
Scale factor. So we need to figure out the scale. Very good. So the scale of the dilation is important.
quadrants. You should pay attention to quadrants.
Quadrants, and even more specifically than that, because this quadrants is very unique to this problem. But what Tayson said is like extrapolating one step further. It's the point of dilation, right here. So point of dilation is really important. Anything else you can think of?
The percent enlarged or shrunk.
That would be scale. So you could say that under scale, or like it parenthetically.
Area too, but just
We're going to focus mostly on side lengths, not on area as much.
what is this one again?
Okay.
Well, trigonometry. Oh,
Wait, so we.
beautiful.
How many do we have?
I think like 3, 4-ish.
Oh, I have 2.
Can I go from this corner and draw him again, but a different direction?
Ooh, interesting. Okay, that's, what do we have? What are some things that we've got?
I have scale of dilation and point of dilation.
Scale factor, quadrants, point of dilation.
Oh, quadrants. Oh wait, no, that's point of dilation.
Point of dilation is, like, quadrants is under point of dilation. Yeah, is there anything else we need?
Other than like a pre-image, no.
Yeah, I mean, you need something to dilate, but that's kind of assumed or implied. Yeah, good. Okay,
We're done.
so just so you guys know, I want to give you a little bit of context here. So it says that each preimage was multiplied. We need to give that factor and then use that scale factor to find missing length. So like in number 1, there are no missing lengths. But in number 2, what does it look like this smaller image was multiplied by to get this larger image?
3.
Yeah, because 2 times 6 is 3, right? Now, that scale factor needs to remain constant for everything. So if we're looking at like this side right here, 1, what would the next side length be? 3, because it's multiplied, right? Very good.
Wait, so we're just
So where's
finding missing links.
Yeah, you're going to say the scale factor and find missing lengths. Then in the set, like 7 through 12, 7 through 12. Like, let's look at number 10. A digital animator creates artistic work on her computer. She's currently doing an animation that has several telephone poles on a street that goes off into the distance. We're looking for the center of dilation and the tool being used for that dilation.
So that's perspective. That's
Mhm.
Let me look at it. Hold up. Along the street, is it just one street? Like, are you seeing both sides of the street? Because it can be 2-point or 1-point perspective. That's probably 2-point or no.
It kind of is
That's
like
1 point.
the telephone poles going down the street like
Yeah,
this.
that's 1
So
point.
they're on one side.
It's 1-point perspective.
Yeah,
So
It's all
it's
going
where,
down to
yeah,
the
it's where they
people.
converge,
I
right?
remember
Yeah.
that from art class.
Yeah.
That's actually my favorite.
Wait,
part
so-
about doing
I like 1 point.
On
We
both
did
sides of
2-point
the road.
perspective.
2-point perspective is.
It's just where the road is going.
So could you say 1-point perspective?
Sure. Yep.
Better than I expected.
And what is the tool for dilation here?
The rubber band.
No. In number 10,
Uh,
the rubber band.
I mean, it's slowly like shrinking.
It is slowly shrinking. So in this case, what is she using? she's a digital animator creating art on her
I said screen tablet.
Fucking
on
animated
her
program?
read the question again.
Digital.
Are you
yeah.
asking for tablet?
On her computer. Very good, Mia. Very good, Jacob. So her computer is the tool that she's using.
I was like, it's electronic.
How about Melanie estimates the height of a waterfall by holding out her thumb and using it to see how many thumbs tall the top of the waterfall is, where she's standing. From where she's standing. Then she uses her thumb to see that a person at the base is about half a thumb tall.
So yeah, she said that.
Tool is her thumb. It's a thumb tool. And what is the center then?
The cen-
Where is that
would it be the
originating? Where's the
like the
dilation
top of the
originating?
waterfall?
Thumb.
Or no,
It's
bottom
half
of
her
it.
thumb.
Well, but think about it. That is like her vision going to her thumb and then seeing a person. And then she uses her vision and the thumb again to go like this. So what's the center? Where is it all originating from? Keep going past her arm.
I don't know, her eye?
Her face.
Her eye.
Oh, I was like, what do you mean faster?
Yep, her eye. Okay,
That would be past
Her
her
face.
eye.
so I want you guys to keep thinking about those and good luck. The go also is going to be reminiscent of some things that we've done in previous modules and like types of functions. So you may need to review some of that as well.